vlog. It's been a couple months since our last update. So what's been up on the west side? A few things. In February, we celebrated our volunteers and partners, community partners, and had like record attendance thus far, about 30 people. Nice big feast of a potluck and a lot of good energy that evening. Last month, March, we made prayer cards, modeling this way of remembering each other in prayer after the Eastside homes. So each home has a set of cards about this size, like a half sheet of paper, where someone puts a photo of themselves and kind of collages around that and puts their name, and it's a way to remember people when they're maybe not around that we want to pray for. So we started making our own kind of deck of prayer cards for Lordship Westside. We had our April Lordship Westside gathering. Had a very small group. It was pretty rainy. It's Holy Week. It was also tax day. A lot of things going on. But we had a sweet small group and were able to kind of ditch the programming for the night and just connect over dinner. House renovations. We've had a few work parties over the past couple of months. Mostly occasions when like a group has come to us. So Stonehill College, we hosted an immersion group. They actually stayed at the house, kind of in exchange, but also just in relationship. They offered about 1.5 days of working on mostly painting projects around the house, painting walls and trim. Super Fresh Youth Farm, which is a group in Southwest Portland, youth who are re-engaging school and working on job training. A former Large Portland assistant now works for Super Fresh Youth Farm, and so he was able to bring a group of his youth, and they did some yard work and some work inside. And we have some next work parties in the works, putting out kind of a doodle poll to our handy friends, to see when are good dates for them. Andy, Nate drafted an initial kind of restructuring and edits to our handbook, and got feedback from community council, from the board, from daily life, from Jessica Leitner, and took all of that in, integrated it, and the board has since approved our new handbook. And this is not only helping us to be where we need to be for our community living support endorsement application, but also to get us to a place of having some new updated pieces to be in compliance with our agreement with Lordship USA. Andy has, since approving the handbook, been drafting a new application to live in our homes. And this is meant to be an initial kind of application for anyone to discern with us, whether core member, assistant, non-core member or assistant, person without a disability on the east side or the west side. In the meantime, we're still using our assistant hiring processes, but this will be it will become a document for especially in the coming months as we reopen up a core member opening on the east side at Nehalem House, and for an initial discernment kind of base discernment document for anyone exploring living in the West Side house. Church and school relationships, partnerships that we're building. So at Holy Trinity Catholic Church, the church that we bought our Westside home from, we have a new person in that liaison role, Maria Menor. We're exploring a different night of the week / month for when we have our Lordship Westside gatherings, if we continue to have them at Holy Trinity, because the third Mondays of the month haven't been a super great time, not the most ideal time, so kind of exploring that. Valley Catholic High School, reached out to us, very close to the Westside house. And so I was able to come and do 3 classroom presentations, L'Arche Presents presentations, in conjunction with, I had a few different pairs of people support me in those presentations. So a couple of pairs of East Side core member and assistants, as well as Brenda Bardman from the West Side, all co-presented with me. And we also met with some students over lunch. And they're really excited to also serve with us, volunteer with us in the future. And then the last kind of category of life that's bubbling up on the West Side / for kind of all of L'Arche Portland, as I've been kind of putting, as my wheels have been turning, as I've been observing, witnessing what's happening with L'Arche Portland, is around equity and diversity, and kind of a shift in how we are doing outreach, or thinking about outreach, or what outreach might look like for us. So I was able to meet with Alexis Ball, who works with the City of Beaverton's Equity Office. So again, just brainstorming and having another thought partner, collaborator, another stream to publicize our events in a more kind of with an equity lens, realizing that our growth work, our work of expansion and growing to the West Side, and expanding beyond what we've thought of as L'Arche Portland in the past, is inextricably linked to our diversity work. And so I've been feeling also energized by that's not just a lens that I might have, but is something that's more deeply true about how we're growing in Portland, how L'Arche is growing in Portland. Yeah, in terms of how to open ourselves to welcome other new people and also to be changed by them. Joan Winchester, our regional leader, in terms of around spirituality, diversity of spirituality, also led a formation for us about kind of reflecting on what's the state of spiritual identities at L'Arche Portland and L'Arche USA generally, L'Arche internationally. Another, just all these threads that seem to be connected.